Donald Trump, an American businessman of our present day, and most notably the 45th President of the United States. Although he is a highly controversial political figure, whether you love him or hate him, there are a lot of interesting facts about the former president. Hello everyone, welcome to Top 10 History, your hub for historical lists and amazing history facts. Today we're going to go over the top 10 amazing facts about Donald Trump. Make sure to watch until number 1 because it's one of the most amazing facts about the former Commander-in-Chief that may shock you. Before we begin, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications on because we release a new historical top 10 list every single day. Also, make sure to smash that like button. Alright, let's get right into the video. Number 10. He sued Bill Maher for calling his father an orangutan. Starting off with a pretty crazy story. As a joke, late night talk show host Bill Maher made a joke on his show Real Time with Bill Maher that Donald Trump was the offspring of an orange-haired orangutan. A joke that was a jest at Donald Trump's orange skin complexion and hair. Trump, however, did not take this joke very well. He actually took great offense to someone calling his father an orangutan. He demanded for Bill Maher to apologize and actually went as far as to sue Bill Maher for $5 million. He even marched into court with his birth certificate in hand as evidence that in fact he was the offspring of his father, Fred Trump, and not an orange-haired orangutan. This did not tear Maher down, however, it just gave Bill Maher more material to make fun of the president on his show. The rather ridiculous lawsuit was eventually dropped, although the two of them to this day remain enemies. Number 9. His family name. The Trump family wasn't always called the Trump family. Donald Trump's family is from German and Scottish descent, and they used to go by a different surname, which was Drumpf or Drumpft. This wasn't commonly known until another late night comedian, John Oliver, brought it to attention on his show Last Week Tonight. Trump's ancestry was traced all the way back to the 17th century and identified an itinerant lawyer by the name of Hans Drumpf, who lived in Germany in the early 17th century. The reason of which the German surname Drumpf switched to the Americanized Trump is uncertain, but here's the most likely reason. The switch was believed to have occurred during the time of World War I. Donald's grandfather, known as Frederick Drumpf, changed his surname to the Americanized Trump after immigrating to the United States. This change in surname was most likely a decision in order to avoid persecution, since during the First World War and Germany being the United States' enemy at the time, Americans started to develop prejudices against Germans. Number 8. The origin of the Trump family fortune. Speaking of Frederick Trump, he's the one who can take home the glory for earning the Trump family their fortune, which still lasts to this day. Frederick Trump's life was a true rags to riches story, unlike Fred Trump and Donald Trump who inherited their family's fortunes. Originally, Frederick Trump was a barber who lived in the Kingdom of Bavaria, which is now present-day Germany. Upon moving to the United States, he ended up in Seattle, where he began getting into real estate. He opened up restaurants and brothels, which were frequently visited by the miners during the Yukon Gold Rush. Seeing the high demand for these types of establishments, he set up several more of these businesses along the West Coast. Eventually, he moved to the Big Apple, where he worked as a hotel manager. He began acquiring real estate in Queens, which then turned into booming businesses for the Trump family. By his death, if you add up his worth from his real estate, stocks, other investments, and savings, Frederick Trump had a net worth of almost $600,000 in today's US dollars. This money would be used by his descendants and eventually it would turn into billions. He had multiple party allegiances. Now, today, when we think of big faces in right-wing American politics, Donald Trump is often the first face that people think of. However, he wasn't always a member of the Republican Party. He had not one, but 4 different party allegiances during his life. To the surprise of many, he was a registered Democrat from 2001 all the way till 2009. During an interview with CNN in 2004, Trump said, "In many cases, I probably identify more as a Democrat. It seems that the economy does better under the Democrats than the Republicans." He also was a registered member of the Reform Party from 1999 to 2001, and he was a member of the Independent Party from 2011 until 2012. Over his life, he has changed his party identification 5 times, which is unusual for a candidate who seems to be a very partisan figure today. Appeared in multiple films. Now, as we all probably know, Donald Trump was more than just a businessman. He also was a big media personality, appearing in movies, television, and eventually went on to get his own popular show, The Apprentice. He even had his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. These public appearances in TV and film were probably a major factor that contributed to his rise in popularity and eventually becoming elected the President of the United States. Some popular films that made a cameo appearance included Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, Zoolander, and Little Rascals. As far as television, he made appearances on popular shows such as The Jeffersons, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Sex and the City, and WWE, as he was a huge fan of professional wrestling. He also has been a host in the ever-popular Saturday Night Live. After taking office, however, Donald Trump has yet to make any film and television cameos. Understandably so, since the President of the United States is quite a busy occupation. He never filed personal bankruptcy. Now, there is a common rumor floating around that Donald Trump has gone bankrupt, which he will often claim that he hasn't. This is partially true, but let's start out by talking about what is not true. Despite the rumors, he never filed personal bankruptcy. On a personal level, Trump has always been doing fine, having had a net worth as large as $10 billion at his peak. For his businesses, he actually used little of his own money. However, he did have some businesses that failed, in which he filed Chapter 11 bankruptcies for 6 of those businesses. What a Chapter 11 bankruptcy does is gets rid of a lot of the company's debt, which he used to his advantage. The 6 establishments in which he filed bankruptcy for include the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, the Trump Castle Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, the Trump Plaza Casino in Atlantic City, the Trump Plaza Hotel in Manhattan, the Trump's Hotel and Casino Resorts in Atlantic City, and also the Trump Entertainment Resorts in Atlantic City. He once proposed a large tax on the rich. Now, when we think of modern-day Republicans, we know the one thing that most of them hate is raising taxes, because that's socialism, right? Now, would it shock you if I told you that in 1999, Donald Trump proposed a one-shot massive tax raise on anyone with a net worth greater than $10 million at that time? Well, that's right. In 1999, Donald Trump proposed raising taxes to 14.25% on anyone with a net worth greater than $10 million. He claimed that doing this would raise about $5.7 trillion, which could be used to eliminate the U.S. national debt. However, unlike present-day proposals to tax the rich, Trump's proposal in 1999 was going to be a one-time levy, meaning that the rich wouldn't be taxed indefinitely. However, this proposal was never carried out and put into action, as it was believed that the rich would find ways to avoid paying this tax, which Trump did not have a plan in dealing with. He had a chance to buy the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots, arguably one of the best football teams of our present time, don't hate me if you're not a fan, was almost under the leadership of, you guessed it, Donald Trump. In the 1980s, the American football team was actually struggling. Between the team and the stadium was about $104 million in debt. In order to get out of this hole, the team turned to celebrities in order to get an assistance of getting back on their feet, 2 of which were Michael Jackson and Donald Trump. The team announced a deal that may lead to Donald Trump purchasing the team. However, 2 weeks later, Trump declared claiming the purchasing of the team would be a bad investment. The $104 million in debt that the time faced was, quote, too much for him to handle. While this was probably a smart decision in the moment, Trump would later kick himself and realize that his decision to not buy the team was probably a mistake, being that they are one of the most successful sporting teams to this day. The team was instead purchased by Victor Kiam and Fran Murray in October of 1988. He is sensitive about his hands. Trying not to feed into any rumors or drama, there were several reports of Donald Trump being sensitive about the size of his hands, more specifically his fingers. But the rumors that his hands are abnormally small are true, being that they are in the 15th percentile. There were numerous attempts to measure the size of the former president's hands, all of them failing due to his resistance from the topic. However, the case was cracked by the discovery of a bronze cast of his hands, which was being used at the time in order to create a life-size wax sculpture of the Donald for a Madame Tussauds wax museum. After measuring the cast, they found that Donald's hands from the bottom of the palm to the tip of the middle finger were 7.25 inches long, which is almost half an inch shorter from the national average, which is 7.61 inches. This means that 85% of Americans have larger hands than Donald Trump, confirming the rumors that the president does indeed have small hands are true. Sorry, Donald. He might have a fear of stairs. Now, everyone has their irrational fears. Some are afraid of heights. Some are afraid of spiders. Some are afraid of the dark. But it might shock you to learn that Donald Trump may have an irrational fear of stairs, or bathmophobia. Now this one is yet to be confirmed true or not, but video footage of the former president walking up and down flights of stairs show him nervous, slow moving, and overly cautious whenever he's on a staircase. Particularly footage of him walking down a ramp after giving a speech at the United States Military Academy at West Point, New York. There were even reports of how he wanted to hold the person next to him's hand whenever he was descending down a flight of stairs. A tweet from the president himself: "The way President Obama runs down the stairs of Air Force One, hopping and bobbing all the way, is so inelegant and unpresidential. Do not fall." Did these facts shock you? Make sure that you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more amazing historical facts and much more. If you like this video, check out this next video on the top 10 amazing facts about James Buchanan. Alright, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.